Anna Maria, welcome to the podcast. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
You're excited. Are you kidding me? I feel like I am over the moon. I
Oh
truly feel like I have like Disney Channel royalty right in front of me. It's
my gosh,
crazy.
thank you. I appreciate it.
I really want to get right into it because I have so much to ask you because I'm just so excited. So, my first question for you is you were first discovered on the show Star Search, which, when I was doing my research, I was surprised to find out. I was like, there's no way. And I just really want to know what that audition process was like to get on that show.
I'm originally from the Bay Area, and I did a lot of
Okay.
musical theater growing up. And I think my parents had sent in an audition tape that I auditioned for the Children's Musical Theater to CBS because it was on CBS before. And I got chosen as a junior finalist. I think they just got the call and they're like, it's time to go to LA and do this.
Put
So
her
it
in
was
the car.
I know. It was like my first big taste of like, oh, TV, performing.
Yeah.
And funny enough, my competitor was David Archuleta.
What?
Yes.
Okay, I
So
didn't do enough research then because I was
yes.
like, wait.
David was my competitor, and it's really funny now because throughout our careers we've run into each other at events, and we like to reminisce about that time, and we're like, gosh, that was so long ago. I cannot believe we're here
Yeah,
today. And yeah,
right.
it was a fun time.
That's so cool. I was gonna ask you, like, do you run into him nowadays? Like, do you look back at that together? That's so cool. So, how does it feel to see Star Search getting a reboot on Netflix? I mean, that's why it was so crazy to find out that you were on Star Search because I was like, there's like no way they're just rebooting this now on
Yeah,
Netflix. So,
I
how does
know.
that feel for you to like look back and be like, oh my gosh, like,
I mean, it's awesome. I'm actually shocked that it took this long to reboot. And I don't know. I think it's a little different now because now that it's on Netflix, I think people can vote via Netflix. And back then, you
okay,
could vote via text, computer, like on the website, and on phone. So yeah, that it was interesting to go through that experience as a kid. Um, yeah, it was fun. I was again my first taste of being on reality TV back then.
right.
Would I do it again if I like was never on it? Probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Do you have any advice for those who are competing in this go around?
I think if I had some advice for people who were going into Star Search as a singer, I would say choose songs that you know you could tackle and blow the audience away. A little bit of tea is that originally I was supposed to sing The Power of Love by Celine Dion. And
Oh,
yeah, and the producers switched it up on me and they were like, you're gonna sing Somewhere from West Side Story instead, which I had been practicing, but it wasn't my first choice.
oh my gosh. So
So
you didn't even get to really choose like which song you were going to
not
perform.
really. I had a few and then practiced one for a long time, and then they're like, nope, we're gonna do this one instead. I don't know if it had to do with, I don't know, the choice between David's choice and it was similar. But
Yeah.
it is what it
Did
is.
did you provide like options where you like these are the three songs I would like to perform and then they got to, do the final say?
Yes, and
Okay.
and that's why I was kind of surprised because I had already been practicing The Power of Love for I think a week or so prior, and then 2 days prior or something like that. They're like, no, how about this song instead? Which I think I did well singing, but again, I didn't want to sing
Yeah,
well.
no, you did amazing. You
Thank
did amazing. And I have to say, in the filming of it all, right, when I was like watching it back, when they pan to your parents, I just have to say your mother looks
you.
gorgeous.
Oh, thank
Your
you.
mother, the way she's just like smiling ear to ear and like you can just see how proud she is of you. Like that moment just like hit me because I was like, "Ugh,
Oh,
look at that proud
I
mom. Look at that
appreciate
proud
that.
mom in the audience.
Yeah,
She
I'm
looks
so happy you
gorgeous."
said
Well,
that. Thank you.
it's so funny you mentioned the producer switching it up on you because my next question was, you performed somewhere from the musical West Side Story. Has musical theater always been the goal? Like, were you always a musical theater kid?
Yes, I grew up doing musical theater, and it was a dream of mine to just do Broadway. And growing up as a Filipina, my idol, of course, was Lea Salonga, as
Hmm.
all of ours were. And you know,
Right.
it's crazy to think that I can call her a friend now because, she paved the way for us and really put a name for Filipinos out there. And because I am in this industry and the Filipino community is so small here, I really can call her a friend, and she was very supportive during my time on Godspell on Broadway. And she watched the show twice, and then I got to see her in London at the O2 for Les Mis, and she came to my concert in New York.
Wow.
So it's kind of crazy how it
My
all.
gosh. Yeah, no, that is I love it. Like that full circle moment. It's always so fun to watch. So, growing up, was the goal to be on stage more so than film and TV? Or were you
Yes.
just kind of like either or, either or?
I didn't even think about TV at all. I just wanted to be
Oh,
on
okay.
stage. I just wanted to sing.
Yeah.
And it just so happened that I professionally booked a TV show for my very first job. But being in this industry for 20-ish years now, I did everything so far, and I wouldn't change it for the world of how the journey came about.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, you can have like a set plan in your head of like, this is what I'm going to do and this is how I'm going to conquer all my dreams. But then life just throws like a curveball at you and it ends up being something completely different that launches you into this industry, right? I think a lot of actors or performers can say the same thing. They
Yes,
probably didn't get their start where they thought they would, which is
exactly.
always so fun. So, okay, now I'm getting excited because in 2006, the world got to meet the iconic Ashley DeWitt on the
Mhm.
sitcom Hannah Montana. I am dying to know what was the audition process like, and at the time of auditioning, did you know the show was going to be as huge as it is?
So after I did Star Search, I got an agent and I was still living up in the Bay Area. So around that
Okay.
time, I my agent had said that Disney Channel is doing this kind of national search for new faces for the channel. And I remember auditioning for a casting director, and she gave me sides from That's So Raven. And I again, obviously being like
An iconic show.
I know, being like the Disney Channel girly that I already was, I knew exactly where it came from. I knew exactly what the scene was. And before I knew it, I was auditioning for an untitled pilot called Hannah Montana. And again, like I booked the role of sorry, I booked the role of Ashley, so many different names, sorry. And and I was kind of like, I had imposter syndrome because what do you mean I was just watching Disney Channel 3 months ago and then I'm working for the channel? This is crazy. So I went to LA to film the pilot, and when I found out I got picked up, I was kind of like in shock. Oh, this is actually happening. My family and I moved to LA, and again, I had no idea it was going to be as big of a show as it is. And the only thing I did know is that when I met Miley, it would be successful.
So meeting her, you were like, "Oh, we have a great show in our hands."
Yes, 100%.
That's awesome. That is, I can't even imagine what that must have felt like. That is so cool because you hear actors who were on, very extremely popular shows say,
Mm,
"Oh yeah, from the moment I read the pilot, I knew this was going to be a hit," right? So, or some people are like, "Oh, I did not expect this at all." So I
yeah.
was wondering if, when you read it and when you started doing it, if you were like, "Oh, we have a hit in our hands, ladies and gentlemen."
I mean, it was my first professional job, so I had no clue about what even a pilot is, and I think we were just
You were just happy to be here.
yeah, I was happy to be there. I did my job, and I think all of us as kids, I started kind of late in child acting, I say. I think I was 11 or 12, and it was kind of all of our first big jobs. So, it was
Yeah.
we were just happy to be there.
Yeah, I also got a late start to child acting at the age of 24. So, but, you know, it's
Yeah.
okay. So, okay, in the show, your character would pop in and out throughout the show, right? So, some episodes you were on, some episodes you weren't. I want to know how it was like establishing a relationship with a cast that was like doing it full time. So, was it kind of like maybe weird or anything like that? Like, I've had this experience too as an actor, right? I come on set for one episode, turns into a recurring, which is always
Mm.
so fun and great. And then you're just kind of bouncing in and out of this set. So like, was it how was that dynamic when you were like popping in and out?
So we were part of the pilot episode, which already established a great chemistry with the whole cast. And when it did get picked up, Amber and Ashley were in a lot of episodes for season 1 and 2, so we were recurring, and we were filming. I think I don't know 3 or 4 months out of the year, so we were we were there on set every other week or so. So, we were very close to the main cast and we got to hang out with them. And even when we weren't filming, we would have lunches in the dressing rooms with them. And a really fun memory that I remember is when we were during our off times, we would play Guitar Hero in Miley's dressing room. I'm like aging myself. Guitar Hero was very popular back then. And then around season 3 onwards, Shanika, who plays Amber, and we started booking other things. So Amber and Ashley weren't seen as much later on, but I just have the fondest memories and I cherish them so much because, again, we were just kids on set and having
Yeah.
a great time.
And you were just kids being kids, which is so cool, you know? So nowadays, it's very rare for a sitcom to be like taped in front of a live audience, right? And so many of them, or so many studios, are using laugh tracks and not using one. So how was it for you getting to film in front of a live studio audience? With your love for stage, I'm sure it was awesome.
Yes. Having to film in front of a live audience was really interesting and a fulfilling experience, I feel, because I got that immediate reaction to certain lines that were in the script. And it really helped me learn about comedic timing and how to deliver certain lines. And I don't know, again, it later helped me on with my Broadway stint because of the live audience aspect. I really think more shows should do it because it is such a
Yeah.
great learning experience. I really like it. I love being in front of a live audience.
Were you when you started in Hannah Montana and you started getting those zingers in and getting those laughs, were you kind of like, huh, I'm very funny. I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
I didn't have any real professional training too, so that's where I kind of really learned how to be funny and how to not be because there were moments also where it's like, oh, I didn't land that joke. If I say it a certain way, maybe it'll work, and that's how I learned. So yeah, that's why I think, especially as a kid actor, it would be really nice to have live audience more
Yeah.
so nowadays for shows.
Yeah, I hear that some shows are still doing live audiences. I hear other shows aren't doing it, so it's like a hit or miss depending on the studio. Yeah, yeah. So I was like, I wonder what that was like because that was like peak when they were, right? Like every
Yeah,
studio was doing it in front of a live studio audience.
right.
So was there a storyline? This is where I want the tea a little bit, but was there a storyline for Ashley that we never got to see? Or like maybe there was something really fun and like set up for her, but we just, it got cut or something.
I feel like there could have been an episode where Ashley could sing well.
Okay. Okay.
So
I see.
I did get to sing a few songs for the producers, and they initially kind of chose who was going to be the bad singer between the duo and the good singer. And as everyone knows, I became the bad
Right.
singer. And that it was really sad for me at the time, but luckily, shortly after, Disney had me do a Radio Disney album, and then I got Camp Rock where I got to sing a little bit, and I got to sing
Yeah.
at more Disney events. So I wasn't completely crushed, but I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like I did a really good job acting like I couldn't sing because for the longest time, everyone thought I could sing bad. So I think in another life, there probably was an episode where she could sing.
Yeah, right. I can only imagine that first gut reaction of like, ugh, like
Yeah,
I have to be the one that sings bad,
right,
after, years of training and
right.
everything. But
Please. Yeah.
nevertheless, you were really good at singing bad,
Thank you.
You were very, very good.
Very convincing. Thank you.
I never got to attend Miley's concert. So when Miley went on tour, right, I'm sure I'm also feel like I'm aging myself as well. But when Miley went on tour and she did the whole Miley Hannah Montana on tour concert, I didn't get to attend. I was living in Puerto Rico at the time and she didn't come to
Oh,
Puerto Rico. So
yeah.
that was a bummer. I think I went to the movie theaters to see it. I can't remember.
Mhm.
But did you get to attend Miley's concert?
Yes, I did.
And this is where the interview ends. Okay, goodbye.
Uh,
Like, I am so jealous.
I did. I remember it so clearly, like it was yesterday. We went to the show that was being filmed for the movie, and it honestly was so iconic. And because it was at the height of the show's popularity, it was almost impossible for the main cast that was there to like get around. So we were getting kind of bombarded pictures left and right. But I just remember seeing other Disney Channel stars there. And I remember right in front of me so clearly because she turned around and waved at me. And I was like, oh my God, how cute. Madison Pettis was with her mom right in front of me. And yeah, yeah, when she was still like itty bitty. And
Right.
yeah, I just feel like now that the 20th anniversary is coming up, if there is something like that that's going to happen where Miley gets to sing all of her Hannah Montana songs, you definitely have to go. It's a once in a lifetime experience and
Anna,
I hope to
Anna,
be there
Anna.
too.
Anna, that I don't know if I can handle another Ticketmaster war. I don't know if I have it in
No, I
me. I
know.
it's just so my husband was saying like the same thing, like we have to go. And I'm like, listen, I want to be the first person to be at that concert.
Yeah,
I just don't know if I have it in my heart to go through the war and then come out losing, you know? I
I
just
know.
like I won the Ariana Grande war. I won that war
Nice.
and I don't even know how I did it. You know what I mean? I have survivor's guilt from seeing
Yeah, yeah.
everyone be so sad that they didn't. So I'm like, I don't know. I feel like my luck ran out with Ariana, so we'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'll try. Maybe I'll try. But
No, please. Yeah,
that
that'd be
is so
fun.
cool.
Yeah.
What about her 16th birthday at Disneyland? Were you there for that?
Oh, I was there. Yes. Oh my gosh. She rented out all of Disneyland, which was to me was like, wow, this is crazy. I cannot believe you could even do that for
Right.
a party, right? Let alone a part of the park. It was the whole Disneyland park. And they had picked up my family and I in a limo and they took us to the back
Ooh.
where I think it was Toontown. They dropped us off there, and that's actually where I ran into again David Archuleta for the first time since doing Star Search, and we were like, "What's going on?" Because he was on Hannah Montana too, and that
Another
was
full circle moment.
exactly so that was great. It was a bunch of fans. She had invited a bunch of fans, and we did this kind of parade on a car, waving to everybody, and then a red carpet or the purple carpet, I'd like to say. And then we had a time to go on all the rides, and she did a concert. It was truly iconic and unforgettable, an unforgettable
Yeah,
time.
I don't think anybody could ever top that Sweet 16. Like
Mm-mm.
I know
That was
MTV used to have that show, My
yeah,
Super Sweet 16, but like no episode, like no girl on that on that show could ever
no,
top that
no,
100%.
I'm surprised it wasn't on that
That
show.
is
Disney stuff.
right.
Yeah.
I know. That's crazy. So with the 20th anniversary coming up, fans are wanting a reboot. They're saying it left and right. They want to reboot, they want to reboot, they want to reboot. I want to reboot, but more importantly, I would want you to be in this reboot. So I have a question for you. If you were in the writers room, right? If you were in the writers room, we're doing a reboot, where do you see Ashley 20 years later?
I feel like Ashley would be a fashion designer. And one thing
Okay,
about Amber,
cute, cute.
yes, one thing about Amber and Ashley is we ate with the outfits. So I
Period.
feel like,
Period.
right? I feel like she would be a really good, maybe like kids clothing line. I have a family
Okay.
myself, so and
I
side
know your
note,
daughter's so cute.
thank
She is
you.
adorable.
Thank you. But I'm the only one from the original pilot cast that has a kid, which is crazy. So I think that Ashley would she would be like a trad wife, and her side hustle would be kind of like a clothing line. I think that she would do that. Yeah.
Just fashion designing for kids.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I love that. That is I can see that. I can totally see
Brand.
that.
Yes.
So it's been 20 years. It's been 20 years since the pilot episode. When you look back at it now and you see how far you've come and the ups and downs and the journeys that your career has taken, like how do you feel?
I feel old. First off, yes, I feel old, but I'm grateful. I mean, I truly wouldn't be where I am today without my career with Disney, with Hannah Montana. I mean, I still get recognized to this day from Hannah Montana, and they're like, "You look the same," and which is
No, you
insane.
really do. No, you
Oh,
really do,
thank
Anna
you.
Maria. No, no,
Thank
I promise you. Yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate it, but again, I wouldn't be where I am today without Hannah Montana. And I cannot believe it's been 20 years. And it almost makes me emotional because, we've all succeeded in different ways with our respective careers. And the fact that 2026 is 20 years is mind-blowing for me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can only imagine, but and you've done just so much, like Hannah Montana, the Camp Rock films, tour Broadway. Like it's truly inspiring. Like it's one of those careers that I feel like any young actor would see and be like, I want to do that. So I just applaud you and all that you did, because
Oh, thank you.
and it's one of those things I recently saw on TikTok. I believe her name is Kim, but the actress who played the mom on Zack and Cody,
Yes, Kim
and she
Rose.
was talking about, yeah, and she was talking about her getting stopped till this day for that role, and just how people, when they see her, they see mom, like just a mom in general, like a mother figure. And she was just so impacted of like how much that means to her. So I just want to let you know that I feel like, as someone who grew up with the Disney Channel too, and like looked at Hannah Montana, That's a Raven, for just escapism,
Uh-huh.
and especially like with whatever, as a queer kid coming up in Puerto Rico, who needed that. So like I can tell you right now that your career has had an impact on
Oh
me.
my gosh, I appreciate
So
it. Thank you.
just know that there's other fans out there who feel the same way.
Thank you. Thank
Of
you.
course. What's your favorite memory from filming Hannah Montana?
I think getting to work with new people every episode. So I got to work with the likes of Dolly Parton, Jesse
Oh my
McCartney.
gosh, that's right, because Dolly I mean, in both the show and real life, is Miley's godmother.
Yes.
So that must have
So
been so fun.
yes, like I just remember being in awe. And again, it was Jesse McCartney and Corbin Blue, who was in the pilot episode, which I later on did Godspell with. And then Cody Lindley, and I see, I just remember being like, I'm internally fangirling every episode and I'm trying to keep cool. I even met Zac Efron on set because he was visiting and just so happened to be an episode that I was filming, and I was going
Yeah,
crazy.
I can only
So I think,
imagine.
yeah, so I think it's just getting to meet new people and just being in the presence of all of them.
Yeah, no, I can only imagine. When I did a show called Fantasy Island. It was for Fox. And again,
Yes.
like I was just there as a humble little recurring co-star, just happy to be there, but the guest stars that they were having every week were just actors I never thought that I would get to meet,
Exactly.
let alone work with.
Right.
So I relate to what you're saying of like just getting to work with some amazing people. My first my first episode for Fantasy Island was with Marie Osmond, which
Gosh,
I
that's
was
my
like,
mom's
what?
favorite. She loves Donnie and Marie. Like back when they were still doing the Vegas stint, she was there all
Yeah.
the time. Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh. And it
That's
was like
amazing.
my first day on set, and it was with her, and just getting to like talk to her, and it was just us like that day, or I should say that evening, it was just us two that needed to like finish filming. So just getting that one-on-one time with her, and just getting to like hear her stories, and she talked about her, Donnie as well, and it was just, oh my gosh, it was so cool. So
It's
that's
even better
awesome.
when they're nice, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So, yeah.
yes, because I've had the other. Yep, yeah.
Yes.
Anyways, yeah, for sure, for sure. I want to know the audition process for Camp Rock. I am dying to know, because you are in the Disney Channel. You're doing Hannah Montana, right? You're creating your own little fan base, and Camp Rock comes along. Did you still have to audition, or was this like a direct offer? Oh, you still have to audition.
Nice, yes. So it was around the second season of Hannah Montana, I believe, or towards the end, and I did get an audition from my agent, and I originally auditioned for Mitchie.
Oh,
Most of the girls went in just for Mitchie, and then I think from there, casting was like, oh, maybe she'll be better for this role or this
mm-hmm.
role. And I had only auditioned for Mitchie, and I didn't hear anything for, I think, weeks. So I thought, okay, time to move on. And all of a sudden, I got a call, and they were saying that casting really liked me and they'd like to offer me the role of Ella. And
Oh, okay.
I think it's because it's very much like my character in Hannah Montana. So I think they just kind of trusted me with that. And yeah, I just remember that's when I also found out that the Jonas Brothers were attached, and I had already known Demi prior to auditioning. So when she was on it, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be amazing!" I was really excited to film with them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So similar, my earlier question of reading the pilot for Hannah Montana, auditioning, and knowing in your heart like, oh, this is going to be huge. Did you feel that way with Camp Rock? I'm sure with like the Jonas Brothers and everything, but
I mean, as a cast, all we wanted was for it to be as successful as High School Musical because we were the second, I think, musical movie for the channel, and I knew it was going to be different because of Demi, of the Jonas Brothers. They could like literally sing their faces off. So, we wanted everyone to love it. And again, we didn't think it was going to be that big. We were just there for a fun time, and um, for it to be as successful as it was, we got to do the sequel, and then we did a world tour. Yeah, we were just very lucky and happy that it made it that big.
yeah. So funny that you say the comparison with High School Musical because my next question is, did you or the cast in general feel pressure of like, okay, High School Musical was huge. We need to be as huge, if not more. Like, did you feel that pressure on your shoulders? Was it like sensed in the on set with the cast, or were you guys just like, we're just gonna do it, and if it's great, it's great.
I think it was that. I don't think there was a lot of pressure for us because the first one specifically was very different from High School Musical, where our performances had a reason rather than breaking out into song. That's Camp Rock 2 was more
Yeah,
like that. And so we knew that it was just more like rock star focused. So we didn't really have pressure to like be the best new musical to take over High School Musical. We also knew that there were like multiple High School Musicals coming up, so I think we kind of stayed in our own lane. But because we had such talent in the movies, we felt like we did our due diligence and kind of carried the movie ourselves and hoped that people loved it.
right, right. And where did you film? Where was this shot in Canada?
Toronto, yes, Toronto, Canada.
Oh, okay. Oh
So
my
we
gosh,
filmed
that
during
is.
like winter, which is crazy for a summer camp. It was fall
Oh, so
winter.
you guys were freezing.
Yes, we were freezing, and I don't know how we pulled it off, but we were able to dance in these like mini skirts and made it look like it was summer.
Yeah, I can only imagine. And when you came back to Hannah Montana, so you left Hannah Montana, or you didn't leave Hannah Montana, but you took a break from Hannah Montana. You fly to Canada, you film Camp Rock, you come back to Hannah Montana because, of course, Ashley is iconic and we need her in more episodes.
uh,
How was that? Like coming back from filming this cool movie into Hannah Montana, was the cast like, hey, heard you did this cool thing? That's
yeah,
freaking awesome.
yeah. I think we only came back for that last goodbye episodes, so that Amber and Ashley they kind of showcased that we found out that Miley became Hannah Montana. So it was a really short episode. I think I was there for like 2, 3 days, just for it as like a formal goodbye from us as characters. It was pleasant. It was nice to see everyone again, and I don't think I've seen the OG cast in gosh since then, but I have seen Jason and Cody recently. So it would be nice to reconnect with all of them again in honor of the 20th anniversary. I hope something happens for a little reunion.
I know. Fingers crossed. Fingers absolutely crossed. So you're back. You did Hannah Montana, which was amazing. And, you know, Disney channels, I wanted to ask you this as well, because I've heard this tea before from Disney Channel's stars themselves. There are some amazing perks that come with working for the channel, right? We've all heard it, like the VIP tour guides at Disney, the free passes to Disney. Did you get to partake in any of that?
Yes, I did. I kind of found out later in my Disney career, and I think I had found out from like a fellow Disney Channel person, like, you could just go to Disney. I had an annual pass, like when it was super cheap.
Oh my gosh.
And they're like, you could just go with Disney because you work for them, right? And I was like, oh, nobody told me any of that. So then I took advantage of it. So I
As you
yes,
should.
So they gave us a tour guide where we didn't have to wait in line here at Disneyland and
Yeah.
also in Florida. So we were able to take advantage of that and we were super spoiled. And for me, I was able to even go on a few Disney cruises and bring my family. So I will say now that I'm a mom and I bring my kid there, it's not the same because, I do miss not having to wait in line. And I mean, I could always do that
Yeah.
if I wanted to, but it'd be out of my own pocket.
Right. There's no attachments now.
Yeah.
But what was that like? Would you just be like, "Hey, Anna Maria here, coming to the parks today.
We would
Would
just,
love a tour guide."
I think a specific point person where we would email and say these are the dates. There were also, I believe, you could only do it a certain amount of times per year. So once you did like 3 times, like I don't think you could do it anymore. But because
Okay, okay.
I never went, I think they were just really nice to me.
It's like you're there like, "Oh, this poor girl over here. She has an
I know,
annual pass, guys.
right.
Like we got to do something."
I know. And I found out, I was like, what? I could have been doing this from the beginning.
This entire time.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Well, and what was that like going into the parks? Were you getting like recognized left and right during this
Yeah.
like peak moment of your career?
Yes. I remember there was this store in downtown Disney called Libby Lou. I don't know if you've heard about it, but it was a kind of a makeover store for kids. And I went in there because I was thinking it was a makeup store, and they shut the store down
Mm,
because people were just bombarding. Oh, it's the girl from Hannah Montana. So, yeah, at that point, it was nice to have a tour guide who would like take me around and make sure I was going the right way and not having to wait in line. But again, I do miss that time, and I felt really spoiled back.
yeah.
Yeah,
Did you ever do any of the Disney 411s?
I did.
You did?
I
Okay.
did.
Cuz like I was like as we're talking like just things from my childhood are just like popping up in my head. I was like,
Yes,
"Oh,
I did.
did you ever do this?"
I did a few of them, some in LA, some in Florida, and even some on the cruise line that I did, which I believe Cody, Lindley, Mitchell, Musso were on the same cruise as me. So yeah, I did quite a few of those Disney 365, Disney 411, all of that.
That is just so fun. You were just full on the Disney kid, and that's
Yes.
that's fun. I can only imagine. So, Hannah Montana's rapping. You're living your best life at Disney, going to the Disney parks, going on Disney cruises. You get this call. Hey, guess what? We're doing a sequel to Camp Rock. What was that like? Like, what was like getting that call and being like, oh my gosh, like we're going back for round two?
Yes, I was really excited. I personally felt after the first movie, even before it premiered, that we would get one. I know it felt right because like everybody in the cast was so talented. And at this time around, I was very prepared because I knew that it was going to be a new choreographer, a new director. So I kind of trained in between the films from the first one to the second one. I was doing dance lessons because for the first movie, actually, I had no idea it was going to be a dance musical. I thought it was a rock musical where it was just singing and standing, and that's where I learned how to dance in the first movie. So after that, I grew to love dancing and trained for the second movie. And we were all really happy to go back to camp again in Toronto. Same thing, doing it in the winter.
Yeah. You poor thing. That must have been brutal, that part of it all. Like, would it be like, okay, would you like have your jacket and then be like, all right, action, take off your
Yeah.
jacket, do your
I mean,
scene, cut,
yes,
run,
that's
get your
exactly.
jacket on.
There was a little area in a tent, I believe, that had heaters, and we had heat warmers on our backs. And you can even see, I think, in the second movie for the final jam, Demi and Joe's voice, the air out of their mouths, it was cold, even though it was summer. So, I mean, I really don't know how we did it, but we did.
I've never noticed that. I now have to watch back and like try to catch that because that's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. So, following the success, wait, actually, how long was it between the two? Because I feel like High School Musical got a sequel like really quickly,
Instant.
but I felt like for Camp Rock, it took a minute to get
I
a
think,
sequel.
yeah, it
Or am I
took
crazy?
No, no, no. I think it was a year in between. So It was a year in between, and then it premiered afterwards. Because in between Camp Rock 1 and Camp Rock 2, I did the Disney Channel games. So we did not film during that.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, that's right. The Disney Channel games.
Yes.
You are unlocking memories for me,
Yeah.
honestly. I was like, I completely forgot about the Disney Channel games. How was that like?
It was fun. Again, they had people from everywhere Disney. So they had people from Disney Spain, Disney UK. They brought them all together. I mean, I'm sure you've seen other interviews with like Nick and the Sprouse twins where they said different experiences of how their
Okay. I
Disney
actually,
Channel games went.
oh, I guess I have to like go investigate.
Yes, I had a very wholesome Disney Channel games. I made, yeah, I made friends with a lot of the international people who I'm still kind of in contact with, and I had a good time. My team won, which is great. I like to brag about that. And I believe Miley also sang during that
What
time as
color was
well.
your team again?
I was the red team. I was in the red team.
Red team. Okay. Okay. Yeah, and there was a concert like part of it. I That's true. Okay, so Miley did. There were some other people that performed as well. And then I remember watching it and then they would cut to you guys in the audience just kind of like vibing and having a good old time. Man, what a time to be a kid. What a time to be alive and just at the Disney Channel games
It
like
was our
living
Disney
it
high
up.
school, as I always like to call it.
And well, now we know what the Sprouse twins were doing, and they were having a good time, I guess. I have to go read their interviews.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So then Camp Rock 2 comes out, which was also a great sequel. Some of my favorite songs are actually in Camp Rock 2. Like Brand New Day, Brand New Day to this day is like I think still the best opening number of any DCOM. I'm
Oh
like,
my
no,
gosh,
like
thank you.
Demi just belting.
Oh,
Yeah, no, I was like when I saw Camp Rock 2 when I saw it premiere, I was like, "Oh, they stepped it up. They
yeah,
stepped it up."
yeah, we had a little bit more
I was
budget
like, "These
this
kids are
time.
playing." Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah. But just overall like yeah, like that choreography, like you were saying and everything, like it was
it was,
intense. It
yeah,
was intense.
it was definitely harder in the second movie. I actually had sprained my foot rehearsing We Can't Back Down. So half the movie I was on a sprained foot in a heel still because I was petite and like I preferred a heel. So yeah, it was definitely a challenge for me the second movie, but I mean I feel like most people like the second one more than the first one, I've heard.
Yeah, no, I love the second one. The second one is just so good. I think it's the music for me. I think the music, like the songs in the second one, like you have
Yeah.
your iconic ones from Camp Rock that no one can take away. But it's like Camp Rock 2 is just banger after banger after banger
Yeah.
after banger and I'm just like, yes. So
Yes.
it's no surprise that after Camp Rock 2 came out and was such a hit that you guys went on tour, which
Hmm.
that's another concert I did not get to go to, but that's
We went
okay.
to
It's
we went to
okay.
Puerto Rico, yeah.
Did come to Puerto Rico? You know what it was? I remember at the time too, Raven came to Puerto Rico, and that was another concert I was really dying to go to. But
Yeah.
I was just a kid and like trying to get my mom to take me was just a
Yeah.
pain. So I was like, okay, whatever, fine, we won't go. But that must have been a fun time. What was it like touring? Like how was that for you?
Gosh, I had the time of my life on that tour. And again, we did a lot of dancing, way more than the movies. And I opened the show with original music. So it's kind of in my like pop star era. And yeah, yeah,
I
I
didn't
had
know that. Wait a minute, wait a minute. Okay, now after this, I have to go on YouTube, do even more research. I gotta find this. That's so
yes.
cool.
Yes. But later on, obviously, I learned that it wasn't my thing. I did have fun. But that's when I learned, like, I don't know if I'm into like pop music, more theater, more Broadway. But yeah, we toured the US and then we toured
Yeah.
South America. So I love that I got to learn about different cultures. And then later on, actually, after Godspell, the Jonas Brothers had me open for them in Asia. And I got to visit my home country of the Philippines and open for them there. And it was really, really great to meet all the fans.
That's That's so cool. That's awesome. Getting to go back to your like home country and just do what you love to do and like connect with everybody. That's yeah, that's so cool. That's amazing. Was it grueling touring? Because we've heard it, right? Like touring can take a toll on you, and you know you're just how old were you at this point? Like you're still a kid. You know what I mean? Like you're still
I was 19, yeah, 1920. Yeah, around that age. It was grueling, but because we were so young and there was all the adrenaline, I was never tired. And especially now being a mom, I look back and I'm like, gosh, I really wish I just like soaked it all in back then because it's different now. But yeah, I was
yeah.
never tired. I loved the rush of it all, of trying to get to the next city and being on the bus. And again, it's a time that I really cherish. And I made some great friends on tour. And I just loved traveling. I just love traveling in general. So it was really nice to visit the different countries and try the food. And I was the one that was very uh, experimental with food and all of that. And not many people were on the tour, so it was fun for me.
Yeah, no, you were like that Lady Gaga clip that's like bus,
Yep.
plane, train, another bus. You were ready. You were like, I don't care, let's go. That must be so fun. So Camp Rock 2 tour, and now, you know, this seems a little long overdue, Camp Rock 3, but
Mhm.
it's happening.
Yes.
We're now like it's just so crazy to me because it's just one of those things where I was like, why didn't this happen earlier? And why did we not get a theatrical release? You know what
I
I
know.
mean? I was like, this is just crazy, and it's just crazy now. I'm 28. I am 28. So like I don't remember how old I was when Camp Rock 2 came out, but you
Yeah.
know, still like it's just so crazy to see that years later I'm like so pumped for like Camp Rock 3, which is
Yeah.
crazy. And I feel like a lot of people who are around my age too are we're all excited for Camp Rock 3. So how does it feel for you to see that Camp Rock 3 is happening? The Jonas Brothers are getting back together. Demi is in her producing era, which is so iconic. So how do you
Yes.
feel?
I'm excited. It's going to be a brand new cast, and the baton has been passed down, and I can't wait for the new audience and generation to see what Camp Rock is all about, and for the story to continue. I love that Demi is a producer, executive producer, and the Jonas Brothers being back. It'll be interesting to see where they take the storyline. I got to meet some of the new cast at a Disney event recently, and they were so sweet and so appreciative of the role that I contributed to the first two films. But, I know that my daughter is going to really love it. I mean, she loves the first two, and not necessarily because mom is in it. I really truly think it's because she loves the Jonas Brothers for being a 4-year-old. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm excited for the new film, and it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I can only imagine. So after your success with the Disney Channel, we're going to talk about your journey on Godspell, and I'm so excited to hear about that. But I did want to ask, obviously, there was a trend going on at the Disney Channel where a star would be plucked from one project to star in the next project. And there was that kind of like formula that
Yes.
Disney was doing. So you saw that kind of with like trying to think of an example, but I think Selena Gomez is a good
Mm,
one, right? Where she was like she guest starred here, she guest starred there, and then slowly they were trying to figure out right, and she did a pilot here, pilot there, but Disney Channel knew that they wanted her. Was there ever any talks for you to maybe have a pilot? Did you try out for any other pilots for the Disney Channel that maybe never got picked up? You know, were you being looked at or considered for any of those things? Because you know that was kind of like the formula, right? They would just like
yes.
pluck kids from shows and be like, all right, well, let's see what this one can do, and let's put them here and see. So did that, ever happen with you?
I did audition for quite a few other things. I don't know if it was because I had already done Hannah, which was so successful, and then Camp Rock, which was so successful, where they were like, we probably need somebody new. But I did audition for a few other DComs. I can't remember them off the top of my head, but I do remember them vividly. Um, and I mean, it's great for the people where it works. And I think I was maybe 20 or 19 at the time already, and I was sort of in my on my way out. And I was okay with that because I started at
Yeah, yeah,
14. Yeah, 14? Yeah, I
yeah. And
started
then
on 14.
you wrapped up, yeah, 14. Well, that and you were talking about leaving at 20, so that's like 5, 6 years of your
Yeah.
life dedicated
Mhm.
to the Disney Channel.
Yeah.
And were you on a contract? Was there a contract in place where it's like, okay, Anna Maria, you cannot go to Nickelodeon, you cannot go to Cartoon Network, you cannot. Was there any exclusivity contract or anything like that?
No, I did not have exclusivity because I think I even did one episode of a Nickelodeon show and it wasn't a problem. It was during my Hannah days too. So no, I wasn't on an exclusive contract, which I think in turn kind of helped me out at the end because then I was able to do other things.
Yeah. You get to venture out and do your own thing, which is
Mhm.
so cool and exciting. Which then you wrapped up your Disney Channel days, right? You put that behind you. You head to New York and you do
Yeah.
Godspell on Broadway. You made your Broadway debut. Tell me all about that journey. Tell me how you got there. Did you tell your agent when your Disney Channel days were over that you were like, "All right, put me on a stage now."
Yes. My agent at the time knew that I've always wanted to do a stage production of any sort, whether it was in New York, in LA, in London, like anywhere. Um, so I think that was my first big Broadway audition. And I don't know if you know this, but it was supposed to be the Godspell reboot, I would say, I guess, was supposed to be years prior and it did not push through because of
Okay.
logistics with a different producer. So when it came about again, I was older already and I wasn't on the channel. And I got the call. I was still in LA and there were no self tapes. Okay. So I flew to New York for the audition, the
The
initial
golden
audition.
age.
Yes. I flew to, this is all out of my own pocket because I deep down really wanted to do this show. And I auditioned, flew back to LA, did my thing in LA. Probably about a month or so after I got a call for a callback, went back, flew, did again, went back to LA. So it was maybe 2 or 3 flights. Um, and I got the initial call feedback of her acting is a little Disney. And that only made sense because that's all I did in my career
Yeah.
at the time. So the producer really liked me and he was really great. He had me do an acting session with a wonderful acting coach. His name is Stafford Arima, and I'm still great friends with him. And he really pulled out a more edgy kind of acting ability out of me. And it was for stage. It was very tailored. And he's like, this is what I think we should do so that you feel more comfortable in that room. And then I got a call back for the last call of the show. And they put us in a group of people we had no idea. I had no idea who they were because I'm not from New York, and everybody else knew each other because they were all from New York and we did parables
Right.
together. So we wrote these auditions with this group that we had just met and did it in front of the producers and the director. So it was a really interesting audition process. And at the end of all of that, I said I gave it my all. I flew back and forth. If they really liked me, they took the time to even give me an acting coach. So I hope that I impressed them. And then I went back to LA. I think days later, I got the call from both my manager and agent at the time. And when they're on the call together, that's when you know something good is going to happen.
Something's up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something coming. Yeah.
So they told me, and I was crying. I remember crying way more for that than like any other job that I had auditioned for because I really worked hard for that audition. And yeah, I had a great time in the show.
How long was your run? How long did you do it for?
I believe we went over, or maybe we were 10 or 11 months of the show. Because we
Wow.
Yes, so we had Hunter Parrish as our first Jesus, and then he went back to do Weeds. Corbin Blue replaced him. So I got to work with Corbin for like 3 or 4 months out of that time.
How was it like doing Broadway like 8 times, right? Is it like 8 times a week, 7 times a week?
8 times a week for almost 2.5 hours. And we only had Mondays off, so no weekends off. And I'd like to say that I probably only missed 2 shows out of my run. It was like
Oh
I remember it
wow.
was a competition between all of us as cast members, like who would be the one to call out first, or who would be the one to call out the most or the least. And so I remember being so proud of myself because I was a newbie in the cast, and I turned 21 during that show too. So um, I truly think that my calling was doing Broadway and doing stage. And so I soaked it all in every night. And I just remember like completely feeling at home on stage.
That's awesome. If you were to go back to Broadway today, what would you love to do? Whether it's on Broadway right now, whether it's a show right now on Broadway, or let's just say a revival's coming, what do you want to do? What's your dream role right now on Broadway if you were to
I
go
know
back?
that, yes, I know they're doing a lot of stunt casting nowadays. So one of my favorite shows right now is The Great Gatsby. I don't know if how
Okay.
long I don't know how long the show is running, but that's a dream of mine. Even Hades Town, I know they stunt cast all the time. Um, One of the roles I've always loved ever since I was a kid, probably because of Leia, is Eponine from Les Mis, or even
Yeah.
Fantine. Now I'm older. Um, and gosh, I would just do any show. Just to go back to New York and do a few shows would be fun, and just to show that show my daughter that I used to do that as well. So it would be great to go
Yeah.
back to a little stunt casting soon, sooner rather than later.
You said Hades. You said Hades Town, and now it's like, oh my gosh, you would be so great in Hades Town. And now I feel like I need to make that happen through manifestation,
Yes, I'm
through this podcast.
manifesting. I'm
Yeah,
manifesting.
this is what, listen, this is what the podcast is all about. We manifest in this podcast and we put it out into the universe, and that is what we're doing. And so
Yes,
therefore it is going to happen, whether it is Hades Town or another revival or something else that's on Broadway, but it's going to happen. But I
yes.
100% agree. I think you would be amazing in Hades Town. That it
Yay.
would be so cool. Do you have any advice for, like I was one of those kids that, I talked about it on my first episode with a young actress. Her name is Savannah. We were talking about it. She's had some great success in her career at such a young age. And so I was asking her, I was like, oh, when you were in the car and you would hear that radio ad that was like, oh, do you want to be the next like Disney Channel kid? And it was all those. Yeah, I was like, but as a kid, I was like, absolutely
Yes. Yeah.
100% yes, put me in coach, right? So, but do you have any advice for any of those kids out there that are listening to that radio ad and are like, yes, put me in coach, like I want to do that?
I think for my advice is do the training first. And I highly, highly recommend theater to get your feet wet. And if you truly feel like it's something you want to do and you see yourself doing, get the right representation. But you have to do your research with that because there are some scammers. Like the things on the radio, that's not
Yeah,
necessarily
yeah.
the right way to do it. So do your research, and then when you do get the right representation, take the acting classes, dance lessons, singing lessons, and really hone in to something that you really want to do, whether it's all three or just one or just acting. And in order to get your name out there, your agent and your manager will get those important meetings and those auditions. Also, you need to have really thick skin because you aren't going to book every single role that you audition for, whether you really want it or not. At the
Yeah.
end of the day, it's your profession, it's your job, and if you have a passion for it, then go for it.
I've talked about this on the podcast before with other friends of mine who have come on who are actors and they get it and they understand. But it's like I recently had a great year of success with my career. And then right afterwards, it plunged, it was like suddenly crickets. My email was very dry. Nothing was coming in. So it's that journey, right? Of like the ups and the downs and just kind of like riding that wave and just going along for the ride and building that thick skin like you said. Is that something that Did you experience anything like that, like after Godspell, after the Disney Channel days, where there's ever like a moment where you were like, "What's going on? Like, what am I doing? Like, what's happening?"
Yeah, for sure. I mean, even just coming out of Disney, there's a stigma of Disney actors, and they don't really take you seriously, right? They just think you're just having fun on the channel, and it's not real acting and such. But I had to really work hard and prove myself and showcase that I'm not just the mean girl from Disney. And no offense to that, because I know that my career came from there, and I'm super grateful for that. But I'm also aging and growing. So, yeah, there are times and there were times during my career where it was slow and I took a little bit of a step back. And now I'm kind of back into it, which is kind of crazy. But I think it just happens with all actors, honestly.
Yeah, well, I can't wait to see whatever you do next, whether it is film, TV, stage, hopefully stage.
Yes,
I can't wait to see what you do next. Anna Maria, I am so grateful beyond my years to have you on the podcast. Thank you so much for taking the time to come on. I
of
truly
course.
appreciate it. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. And again, I just want to say you have a whole bunch of fans out here rooting for you, and we are all so excited to see what you do next. So,
Thank
thank you so
you.
much for coming on. And to all my listeners and watchers out there, I'll see you on the next one. Bye.